Hi, welcome to Spirit on the Spectrum. I'm Rachel. If you're watching this, I'm so glad you're here. In this video, I'm going to discuss how important it is to pay attention to the patterns or the cycles that keep coming up in your life over and over again, because that is your guides and the universe screaming at you to pay attention to what that is. There is something important there. There's something you need to learn, to grow from, or shift your perspective on, and just really bring awareness to. And you know, our lives here are very planned, and we have objectives and goals that we want to achieve while we're here. Like we have a whole life plan, and there are things we want to do. And a little bit of background, I guess, or a little bit of knowledge on this is that where home is, God's source, time does not exist there. And so it's kind of hard to wrap your head around the fact that because time does not exist there, yes, we pre planned our lives, but the planning is also happening at the same time. And, your higher self, I think, is very involved in all of this because the planning is that happened before you came here, but also after. Like, I view it as like, and I feel like when my guides talk to me, it's like Earth is like this pocket, right? It's like off to the side, and then there's home. And time is linear in the pocket on Earth, but then there's no time at home because home is just awareness. And you know we are awareness. That's home. That's where we come from. So our planning is happening simultaneously while we're here, but also before. But we definitely plan our lives here. And so when you see these cycles and patterns coming up over and over again, this is something you really need to bring awareness to, because it's going to help you get back on track to what your life plan was. This is an objective you wanted to complete, and you just keep falling back into the same pattern, the same reaction to things. For some people, it's like, you date the wrong person for you, like an abusive person over and over again, or you keep taking jobs that are really bad for you, but you stay in it, or you just are you can't you're bad at setting boundaries with people. It's like these things that come up over and over again. For me, it's anxiety. My big one is anxiety, and this is like a video blog for me. I'm sharing what I'm going through, and the last couple of weeks for me were like they were just doozy of being bombarded with anxiety inducing things. And if you ask anyone who knows me, they will tell you I have terrible luck. I have the worst luck imaginable, because all these, literally, if something can go wrong, it goes wrong in my life. And and I respond with panic. I always respond with panic and anxiety. And it's like my guides are just throwing everything at me, like, you're not getting it. You keep responding the way you're not supposed to be responding. And so they really bombarded me the last couple of weeks. And they love to use technology glitches. Like, there's so many technology glitches happened that caused me to have to respond, like talk to people, which causes me anxiety, or deal with things, or think about things. And a big thing of anxiety is loss of control, right? And so after so many of these bombardments, because they honor free will, so I think that's why, and maybe you can find this in your life, they use technology in a way to show you these patterns, because they honor free will. So they can't just like take over another person to show you something. They have to really maneuver and nudge and do things in a way that you realize it for yourself, because you're not learning if you don't realize it for yourself. You have to come to the awareness. So for for me, they were doing all of these technology glitches. And then finally, after I had to deal with so much stuff, like the eureka moment hits, where it's like, oh my God, this this is I need to change how I'm viewing this. Like I need to bring awareness to this. I need to change how I'm responding to these things, because it's when these cycles and patterns are coming up, it's a gift. It is your guides, the universe giving you the opportunity to overcome something, to get you closer to your life plan, to achieve an objective. You'll be so proud of yourself when you go home if you can, conquer this thing that they're throwing at you. So, you know, finally I'm like, okay, I'm going to change how I respond to this. And I'm going to tell you guys, they tested me because I already did this video. I recorded this whole video and I go to upload it and a glitch happens. And this has never happened, that it didn't save. And so, of course, my initial reaction was being very upset. But then I'm practicing what I preach, and I feel like they were testing me. I put awareness into what was happening. And the biggest thing you can tell yourself is life is happening for me, not to me. This is not a bad thing happening to me. This is happening for me. There's something I can learn from this. I can grow from this. There's to try to look at these things happening in a positive light. And so I practiced what I preached, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do the video again. I'll make it even better this time. And then a series of other glitches happened after, where the audio and the video would not work. And I think they were honestly just being funny. Like, it was like, because I was laughing. I thought it was humorous at that point. But I feel like they were testing my resolve. But your guides are always there for you. Like, and they are always trying to help you overcome the things you need to overcome. And if you are in a state where you are like me, where you're getting the same pattern of things happening, over, like bad luck, that was inducing anxiety in me, you are close to your life plan, like what you're supposed to be doing. Because I can feel it. I can feel like if I can just overcome, which I'm still working on it. Like I haven't, now that I'm posting this video, I'm not just like cured of anxiety. But if you can really, I think the important thing is bringing awareness to it, right? Because that's like the first step. That's like half the battle, is bringing awareness to the pattern. And the initial reaction of being upset or distraught, or all the range of negative emotions that you can have when something like that happens, or you bring awareness to it. And I left that out in my first video, and I think that was really important for me to share about this, that the initial negative reaction does not mean you have failed, because that is, you're human, right? So it's normal to have a negative response to a bad thing. But how quickly can you bring awareness to it? And then once you bring awareness to it, can you shift your mindset? Can you shift, you know, how you're going to handle it? Are you going to change your behavior to a way that is not negative to you? Um, in a way that will help you learn, help you grow, become a better person. Like that's how you conquer, like a cycle happening in your life. It's We're human beings, so you're not gonna like completely dissolve being upset by things, right? Like that doesn't go away. But can you bring awareness to it, and can you grow from it? So I should have done this video a while ago, but again, I was in a deep cycle of anxiety, and it took me a really long time to have my eureka moment where, like it hit me. And then, paying attention to these things, bringing awareness to it, and how can I change and grow from it? And besides all of the bad luck and technology glitches, because it was a lot of stuff. Like I had to talk to so many people, and I'm autistic and I'm a sensitive person, and I don't like talking. I want to talk to people who are like-minded. I want to help people. I want to spread the message of, like, we don't die, and God's source is real, and I want to help people like awaken and stuff, but I'm like not good with like I shouldn't say that, right? I should be saying I'm going to grow and be better, but talking to people induces anxiety in me, and filming these videos induces anxiety in me. So that is such a huge thing for me. Like identify that cycle and pattern in yourself, and seriously, if you do that, then you are so close to being where you're supposed to be in life. Especially if it's like these, you're being bombarded, right? Like it's like you're not getting a break. You're being bombarded by this stuff. That is your your guides like shouting at you, like pay attention. This you need to overcome this. Pay attention. But again, like I'm still learning. I'm still growing. They literally are still doing it to me, and making sure that I bring awareness to these things immediately, like as quickly as you can. But like I said, I left out in my first video that to react negatively is human and it's normal, and it doesn't mean you're failing. It's just, we're human beings. It's just how we're going to respond to things. Um, and then like not even besides cycles and patterns, like if something bad happens to you, right, you should try to look at it like, how can I learn and grow from this? Because another thing that happened to me these last couple weeks is my whole apartment flooded, which is another reason why I didn't post. And I was stressed out, and I had to deal with all this stuff being ruined, and getting all the water out, cleaning, and getting new furniture. And you know I had already like sort of come to my eureka moment. And so very I would say I sat in the frustration for probably like 2 hours, and it came and went when I was like having to clean everything. But I told myself I was going to view this life is happening for you, not to you. And that's like such an important mantra you should tell yourself when something bad happens. Like, it's happening for you. So what can you learn? What can you grow? What can you change, adapt? So for me, it was I could make my apartment my own, because I moved in here very quickly, and I did not buy, like, it wasn't, I didn't have stuff that was my style. And I got to remake all my space, and make it my own. And it was such an opportunity for me to make my home feel like my home. And that was a beautiful gift that my guides gave me, the universe. And I would have never done that without the flood. So when things like that happen, try to like see the beauty in it. And I wrote this down. My guide said, we view things as bad, but bad things happen so you can see the miracles that come from them. And that was truly like what happened with me in the flood, because now I'm so much happier in my space. And I honestly think I'm like, it's less chaotic for me. Like, I can think a little bit clearer now that my space feels like my own. And I have furniture that suits me and things that suit me. So trying to, when bad things happen, trying to see the positive in them, see, what can you learn from that? How can you grow? And even if it's a terrible thing and you can't think of anything, just know that it's part of your plan, and it will help you in some way, whether it's here or whether you don't realize it until you pass, because there's no death, and you go home. It was very much important in some way, because again, our lives are so planned. It so planned. And oh, I didn't mention this, but our guides, in all of us, because we're beings that come from the same place, free will is so honored here and there. So when they like nudge and do their things, it's it's very intricate. Like, I feel like the work they do is like truly beautiful, because they have to play within the confines of the game. Like, they can't interfere with anyone's free will. So I feel like that's why they like using like computer glitches, or like technology glitches and stuff, because that truly honors free will for everyone involved. It's the technology glitching. It's not like a person involved. So, but I think, that's important to remember, that we are allowed to completely derail from our life plan. Your guides and your team are always there trying to nudge you, you know, as much as they can to get you on track. But your free will is very much honored. And I was watching a near death experience story earlier, and she talked about when she went home, she was doing her life review, and she saw that all of her life she had lived up until that point, and then all the things she had done all the things her guides had done to nudge her where she was supposed to be, and that she had like failed everything. And she said there was beauty in that, like you didn't she went, but she came back obviously because she was talking about it. She wanted to go back and try to meet her goals, but she was like totally she wanted to stay there. Like she was like, I don't care about my goals, like I just want to stay home. But she ended up coming back because she wanted to share her message, that we don't die, and like God is real, there really is home. But I think that's important to know, that I think also we put so much pressure on ourselves, and it's really not necessary, because even if we fail all of our objectives, we'll still be so proud of ourselves when we get home, because we were here. Because Earth is a very dense place. It's very, like we, like my guides always say, like I'm an adventurer for being here. Like they view everyone on Earth right now. They view us as courageous for being here, because it's such a, like a there's so many negative, dense emotions here that you don't feel at home. But obviously, that's why we come here. We come here so we can experience this and, do these things, because we don't have these opportunities at home. So, putting that into perspective too, like we wanted to be here. We planned this life. If you have a cycle or a pattern coming up over and over again, you're close to being on your life plan. But even if you don't succeed, when you go home, you will still be proud of yourself for being there, for being here, and, even trying and doing all this. And all of us on earth here right now, we wanted to be here because this is a very critical moment in Earth's history, and we all are very committed to the story on Earth. Like we are deeply involved, and we want Earth to ascend. We want Earth to succeed, and everyone raising their frequency, this place being full of love, all of the dense negative emotions going away. Like we're all committed. And I think that this pattern has happened over and over again on Earth. I don't think we've succeeded yet, but hopefully this will be the cycle that we succeed in. So I guess I will end this video with just reminding you to, when bad things happen, to say life is happening for me, not to me. And if you can identify a pattern or cycle in your life that is happening over and over and over again, how quickly can you bring awareness to it and figure out how you can learn or grow or adapt? Because again, I think that means you're very close to being on your life, the plan you had planned. Like you're close, you're getting there. Maybe you would veered off. Like for me, I think I veered way off for a lot of my life. It took cancer getting me to get back on track, but which I'm grateful for my cancer. So, like that's another thing. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're so young, you had cancer." And I'm like, cancer made me wake up. Like I'm really grateful for it. And that's one thing I have never stressed about, is I just knew that this was, it's like a knowing. Well, because I have talked in a previous video about how I had like a near death experience when I was under surgery. So when I came back from it and I got my download and everything, I just knew I wasn't going to die from this. It was just, so there's always been a calm surrounding my cancer, which is very weird for someone who has terrible anxiety. But, and like, again, like something like that terrible, if you can just find a way to see a positive in it, then it shifts your whole perspective. It already helps you if you can start focusing on the positives on something instead of the negatives. Because, like I said, everyone around me is like, "Oh my God, you have cancer. You're so young." And I'm like, I'm grateful for it. Like it changed my life in a very positive way. And I'm trying to do my best to get on track to where I'm supposed to be, and sharing these videos and hoping they help. Okay, so I'll ask my guides if they want to share anything. Again, because I had channeled them in the other video, so let's see if they'll say anything different. Identifying the cycles that keep coming up in your life is very, very, very important. They it is your guide shouting at you to pay attention. They are always helping you. If it is an important pattern you need to change, it will continue until you pay attention to it. But bring love to it, bring compassion. Don't bring shame or judgment. There are reasons why these traits have developed. It is not your fault. And it is easy to forget that. Love all the parts of yourself. Even if you cannot change the behavior, bringing awareness to it can be enough. Because you need to find the love within yourself to share with others. That is why you are here, to harness the love inside of you and wield it like a weapon. We want to spread love like a virus. Love is contagious. And and through love we raise the frequency on earth. That is ascension. So do as Rachel says, because this is wise advice. And she is learning from the best. With love, Rachel's team. And remember, all is well. I keep asking them if they're going to give me like a name for them, and they just like, the names don't matter. But yeah, that was all. Okay, if you liked this or anything resonated with you or you have any questions, please post in the comments. Please I'd love to spread this spread the love, spread this as much as possible. Try to, help as many people as possible. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.